Narcissistic individuals have a great knack of avoiding being held accountable for their behaviour, avoiding taking responsibility for who they are as a person, how they treat other people. Narcissists tend to feel entitled to do as they please. They're incredibly exploitative. They're extremely envious of others, believing others are envious of them, and they lack the empathy to care for how their behaviour negatively impacts those around them. Instead, they just look for ways to get away with their behaviour. And there's several routes they go down depending on the narcissist you're dealing with, and some will use all three. One of the first of these is they can be that authoritarian bully, where they look to place enough fear in those around them that no one dare stand up to them because they've seen what has happened to the previous scapegoat of the narcissistic individual. So the narcissist gains enough allies, enough supporters to be their enablers and their flying monkeys because nobody dare stand up to the authoritarian bully. Another way that a narcissistic individual will use to get away with their behaviour is by playing the victim. Nothing is ever their fault. They've suffered far worse than anyone ever else has. It was nothing to do with them. The other person is bitter. The other person is jealous. The other person won't allow them to see their children. The other person is taking all their money. They didn't lie and cheat and do all those horrific things. They didn't betray somebody. And that betrayal naturally causes that bitterness and resentment and anger within another person, which a narcissist will then use against that person in order to paint themselves out to be the innocent party and the victim in the entire situation. Narcissistic people try to get those around them to believe that the person the narcissist has harmed should be the bigger person, purely so the narcissist can continue to exploit people and get away with their behaviour. And another way they avoid being held responsible for their behaviour is by playing the hero in the situation, the person who tried oh so much to be helpful and supportive and kind, but the other person was just mean to them. The other person did some horrific things to them. Usually the narcissist projection as they spread rumours and damage someone else's reputation by claiming that person did to the narcissist everything the narcissist did to that other person. Narcissistic people tend to avoid exposure by either being the bully, the victim, or the hero. They will never be the villain. They're only going to be the villain to a point where they are the bully, where they can place so much fear into another person that nobody dares say anything to them. And if anyone does call them out on their bullying behaviour, they turn into the victim of how it's not their fault, how they were only trying to help, they were only trying to be supportive of a person. Narcissistic individuals are great at using other people's compassion against them so that people feel sorry for the narcissist. People try and help and support the narcissist, when all the narcissist has done is use those people to become the narcissist's enablers, the narcissist's flying monkeys, so that the narcissist can continue their negative toxic behaviour. They're like that childhood bully that because they feel insecure about something, they go all out to ruin everything for everybody else. And they either claim that they're doing it for the other party's own good, or they go all out to ruin it for everybody else, to gain a negative reaction from somebody else, and then they scurry off and cry wolf and play the victim to get the person that they are victimising into trouble so that the narcissist can continue to get away with their behaviour. And they often have that very smug look on their face as they know that they're getting the support and the attention and the admiration that they believe they're entitled to by hurting somebody else. They tend to have a touch of sadism in them where they get the pleasure out of other people's pain.